And welcome inside the Backstage Pass. It is a early morning show. We've already had the coffee and we're still drinking the coffee here on the Backstage Pass. And I tell you what, the cup's right there, which is always good here too. We never do them this early, but I tell you what, I had a special treat this morning. I said I'm going to dive in the deep end of the pool. We're doing that too to celebrate a new release out there too, as we're presented by Bangtail Whiskey and our friends over at Honky Tonk Texas out there too. And of course, you can check us out at hightidecountry.net and powered by the Sports Guys podcast.com. Happy trade deadline day for all you fans in Major League Baseball. I'm hoping, yes, the Astros, cross my fingers, will do something to counteract the bullies being the Texas Rangers. We'll see what happens there. But pleased to welcome in. We're going to do a little country dance here on the show. And my good buddy, Aaron Goodvin, back to the show.
Yo,
What's up, buddy?
what's up? Man, everything's good. How are you?
Happy August, man. August 1st.
Oh, man. Yeah, where did the time go? Holy mackerel.
Well, tell me about. I love it. I don't know where the time goes. I have no idea. The lid, man. I got to start with the hat because wife got back from a little bachelorette party we were visiting before the show. Brought you the hat to Green Hall first. How was the time in Texas? How was the party? And then she brings you back a piece of Texas history there to wear on the
well,
noggin.
she had a good time. I didn't hear from her a lot, for 3 days. But yeah, she just came back from San Antonio, and they were. I guess they did that. They've got a river boat, or not river boat, kind of floating down the river on tubes or whatever thing that they do, and so they were in New Braunfels, and she. What's funny is she sent me a picture of it, and I was like, it's Green Hall, like, what the heck? And she was like, what? She's like, I don't really know, like, what. How, she was surprised that I knew about it, and I was like, well, because growing up, I listened to and still today like a lot of Texas stuff. Like I always just loved Texas music, and like my of course my first introduction was like all the kind of the mainstreams, the Tracy Birds and the Clay Walkers and all them. But as I dove a little deeper, I became like this kind of Jack Ingram fan, and some of these like real Texas dudes and Pat Green and all that stuff. So then it was like, and Kevin Fowler, and then they would always do these live records at Green Hall. So I was like, oh my God, that's amazing. Like, so I knew all about it. And she was like, oh, and then it was really funny because she went in there and it's like literally all the clothes they make is like everything that I wear. Like, she brought me this. So she went like crazy on it. Like, I've got this, I'm showing him a t-shirt for all the, but like Green Hall, Texas, like all this stuff. And I was like, oh, this is amazing. So she pretty much just like bought the whole store and brought it back for me. So
it's a beautiful venue too. Just called. We were talking before the show. Randall King and some guys played down. My good buddy Joey Greer had played out there Texas country too. Hey, speaking of writing too, I love your style because you're such a great songwriter. We know that too. We're going to talk a lot about country dance and have you play a couple songs for us here on the show today. But I was visiting with one of your good friends and a guy you've done some co-writes with Texas country artist Clay Hollis here. We talked a little bit about that before the show. Talk about just collaboration, how important that is in the industry, and then working with a guy like Clay who is super talented.
Yeah, I mean, he's young, talented, he's hungry, he's after it. He reminds me a lot when I kind of first started out. But I met Clay through he was at the time he was talking about getting some production work done by Bart Butler. Well, Bart was my producer for the first record, and also just one of my really great friends and industry friend and just friend. We probably know a little too much about each other, but things friends aren't supposed to know. But like, so I first met Clay kind of through that, and he was kind of the one who just kept with me and kept in touch. And so like every time he goes in to make a record, or every time he's in town, I try and find an afternoon we could write something. And he's just been I just really like the kid. I think he's after it. He just reminds me of me. So it's always so great. Like and he seems to just really like a certain part of my style or whatever I do. And I mean, he's cut, I don't know, like 4 or 5 of my things, I think. So he's been really good to me over the years. And I just sent him some more songs, so maybe he'll cut some more. But
he's gonna...
and whenever he's in town, we try to get together, right? So yeah.
he actually had turned me on. It was actually a fishing spot with the vacation I've been on the last few weeks. I went down to Corpus Christi, Texas, down here, and we got to
Mm-hmm.
charter fish. My brother-in-law had never been, so we got to go for the first time. I'd been two or three other occasions, and the cool thing was we got to go snapper fishing out there. Clay loves it. It's a place called Dolphin Docks down in Corpus Christi. We loved it so much down there too. So for you, and kind of the fun time, do you enjoy that outdoor kind of hunting and fishing aspect of life?
Yeah, I'm like I'm not much of a hunter.
Mm-hmm.
Like I just have never, for whatever reason, I don't know. I think like a lot of that, like my family never really did any of that or anything, but I anytime I get the chance, like I'm always outside,
Mm-hmm.
usually shirtless. So, which nobody really appreciates, but but like even at home here, like I'm always like, when can I get outside? So I just, for whatever reason, but I've done a lot of fishing in my life, and
Mm-hmm.
big, I don't have enough time to do it the way I'd like to, but I love to go fishing, and I mean that, fishing down there sounds amazing, and I've seen Clay post stuff,
Mm-hmm.
and every time he does, I'm like, you son of a, I'm just jealous. So
Yeah,
yeah,
he gets to go quite often too down there, which is a cool place. And I recommend
yeah,
Dolphin Docks is a cool place in
yeah. I need to
Port
go
Aransas,
check that
Texas.
out.
It's a me and you'll have to go sometime. Let's go fishing. Let's do it.
Anytime. I say that, but I have none. I have no time. But anytime, let's go. I would love to. I mean, it'd be fun to get down there, and
Yeah.
I've really been trying. Like, I'm so glad we're talking today. I'm hoping that we'll be able to swap some contacts. I really want to get down there, Texas.
Hmm.
We played down there. There was a radio station. It's gonna escape my brain that has been supportive of me and my music, and I went down there and played. All the people were like, "Who are you? Like, where are you? What are you doing down here?"
Hmm.
And like, what, like, and everybody was just like really intrigued by the
Hmm.
music and stuff. And so for me, it was like, oh man, like I wish I could
Hmm.
tour down there a lot more than I have in the past. So
We'll have to swap some contacts, no doubt. And like I said, love to see you down here, Texas, where people enjoy the great Texas country music and, of course, just the old traditionals, neo traditional style. Before I
hmm
get to the album, Lucky Stars, the current single, have you play a couple things for us here. We'll take our first time in a second. But I tell you, man, this thirst or this hunger, whatever adjective word you want to use, I feel like this old school country is starting to make a little bit of a comeback for the industry, which is really cool. You see it on some of these award shows. You see somebody like Jody Messina come back and
hmm
do her thing, which is amazing for the industry, and it really needs it right now. Your thoughts on that as far as the industry kind of being hungry again for 90s country?
Yeah, I mean, I think music just does that. Like, I think it just goes through these eras, if you will, where it just kind of comes back around. Like for me, it's a very welcome sight. I think as an artist like that, I put out 3 albums now.
Mm-hmm.
I was on a major label in Canada. I just recently, like, I'm pretty much a free agent, if you will. Like, I'm distributed through Warner in Canada, but I've I'm in this place now where I can kind of create without any, limitations to what I'm
Mm-hmm.
supposed to be creating or whatever
Mm-hmm.
they're asking for. And so what happens for me is like I just immediately go back and I start writing. Like, the stuff that I write is very 90s kind of anyway.
Mm-hmm.
And
Mm-hmm.
like, I love that era, and that's kind of, when you're talking about going back to your roots and like going, like, that's the stuff that I've always done. And one of the challenging things for me is like I've sort of gotten by in my career kind of being like a jack of all trades, like, oh, I'll
Mm-hmm.
write that song if you need me to, or I'll write this song if you need me to, or like whatever. But if I were just to sit down and write and just do what I do, it would come out sounding like a Tracy Bird song. Like, it's
Mm-hmm.
just the way
Yeah.
it's just like kind of who I am. So it's like I just, so I've just been having fun with that, and um, I think a lot of my stuff is like it's a lot more country than I think people even realize, So
Mm-hmm.
I think it's awesome. I also think, like, I think there's just room for everything. Like, it reminds me of like what rock music did way back when it was originally just rock, and then it was like rock alternative and pop rock, and like, they had all these like little sub genres. And So country kind of has that right now. And it's really funny. Like you'll turn on the radio and you'll hear something Morgan Wallen that's like very pop country, and then
Mm-hmm.
Zach Bryan comes on right after it, and you're like,
Yeah.
what is happening? It sounds like I changed the radio dial, but it's cool, man. I think all of it
Mm-hmm.
is I think like country music is probably the most popular
Mm-hmm.
music out there. I would think. I mean, right next to pop anyway, so
Mm-hmm.
it's awesome to see so many people being uh, introduced to the music in a way, and it helps us, make a living. So
No doubt, too. Love it, too. We're going to come back and talk a lot about Lucky Stars. Loved Boy Like Me, and, of course, the title track off that very record here. It is the Backstage Pass. More with Aaron Goodvin. We'll take a time out here for our friends at Bangtail Whiskey. If you hadn't checked them out, bangtail.com and, of course, easyliquor.com. Ways to order and get that bottle sent directly to your door. Make some great cocktails out of it, too. Mix it with almost anything out there, too. And if you got a sore throat, it is the best remedy, no doubt here. More with Aaron Goodvin. It is the Backstage Pass powered by the Sports Guys podcast.com and hightidecountry.net. Coming back with a performance or two here from Aaron. Hang tight.
The Bangtail pour is comprised of a sweet corn mash base. The front has a subtle sweetness and not too sharp. It has notes of a medium char or white oak for a smoky flavor in the middle, and the tail has a super smooth and warm finish.
Go behind the scenes with some of the biggest artists in music today with the Backstage Pass, powered by the SportsGuysPodcast.com. Join Brandon Morrill and his co-host Kirsty Krause as they talk to rising stars and legends about their music careers. Listen to their latest tracks and learn fun facts about the men and women behind the music you love. And be sure to tune into the Backstage Pass Monday through Friday from 3:30 to 6:30, powered by the SportsGuysPodcast.com. And welcome into the Backstage Pass. And back here on the show again, it is the Backstage Pass powered by the SportsGuysPodcast.com. Just under 4 weeks now until kickoff for high school football, college, NFL coming up with September. Happy August to everybody out there too here on the show. And of course, catch us at hightidecountry.net for all the shows out there that you might miss. A fabulous internet radio station streaming out of just outside Oklahoma City. Back here with Aaron Goodvin on the show, talking about the latest single and then some, and which fun. It's Major League Baseball trade deadline day. Trade deadline 5 o'clock today. What's your team going to do? We'll have some coverage on that hopefully in the next few weeks too. Some post reaction of Major League Baseball's trade deadline too. I guess speaking of baseball, is your team baseball wise? Do you follow a team for MLB?
Very loosely. For whatever reason, baseball growing up in Alberta, Canada is not really, I mean, we had the Blue Jays, and I think like,
Correct.
I've always, if I was cheering for a team, it'd probably be the Blue Jays. But I think even when they made that run, did they win? I don't know. Like that's how much I know, like about
all the
baseball.
2 titles.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I just remember like the Joe Carter, Roberto Alomar, John Olerud days, like those are the days that I remember. But I was pretty young at that time. So yeah.
Well, I was too. I tell you what, Joe Carter walk-off still reminisces today with a lot of fans, which is
it's
touch
a
the
big
ball,
one.
Joe. It's I love that call, and I think it's and they're one of the most talented teams in the American League this year. Expected to make a deep postseason run too. Just picked up Jordan Hicks, one of the best relief pitchers from the St. Louis Cardinals. So this is going to be a great bullpen, great management, great lineup too. And I know that Bo Bichette got hurt yesterday in the ball game. Be interested to see kind of where that goes and the update we get on his injury too. But Toronto, she could make a huge, deep postseason run, and I'm hoping that, like I said, respect to all teams and clubs that want to get better on a day like this. I'll tell you what, let's go ahead and play one here on the show. And I always say dealer's choice, my friend. We'll let you play one here, and it could be that we can start with a single or a new one, or what's on your mind today playing one for us?
That's a good question. I'm gonna play this. I'll play the single last, so it stays in your head all day long.
Right.
But I'll let me see here. I'm gonna play. I'll play a song I put out with my buddy Ryan Kinder recently. It's Ryan's from South Alabama, and I'm from Northern Alberta, so I'm not sure how we became such great friends, because we just seem to like get along really well, and he's such a talent. We were basically, we're kind of both in between whatever's next for us, and we're like, we should just cut this song because we'd written this song that we just thought was so great and the world needed to hear it. So we're like, we should just put it out. So we did.
Here we go.
So this is a song called The Longer I Live. The longer I live, the more I'm alive. The older I get, the more I find. It ain't how long it is, it's how well it's lived. It's the journey, it's the ride. The longer I live, the more I'm alive. The longer I live, the more I learn how to just be patient, wait my turn. We all got dreams to chase, it ain't a race, ain't about who comes in first. The longer I live, the more I learn. Whoa, whoa, whoa. The longer I live, the more I learn. The longer I live, the less I need other people telling me who to be. I finally understand that who I am is who I'm supposed to be. The longer I live, the less I need. The longer I live, the less I need. The longer I live, the more I love. I take my blessings, I count them up. Matter how bad it gets, the way it is, sure beats the way it was. The longer I live, the more I love. The longer I live, the more I love.
Such a great song right there too. Aaron Goodvin here on the Backstage Pass. Love it so much. And simplicity in country music. That's the way I just feel like.
Amen.
Talk about that 90s country feel. And 3 chords in the truth, they used to say.
Yeah.
Songs like that make you just want to get out there and understand sometimes that the complexities of life, I guess, are we're all going through something. But man, that's we all adapt to something like that. Resonate with a tune as good as that too here on the Backstage Pass. Grand Slam of Sports and Music, hightidecountry.net, presented by Bangtail Whiskey and our friends over at Honky Tonk, Texas. I got to talk to you about this coming back from the break, Country Dance, because I really love this arrangement. A lot of fun with this song, with the latest single, and we'll get kind of more on the plans of the rest of 2023. Again, happy August 1st, everybody out there too. A word from our friends at Bangtail Whiskey, another performance coming up from Aaron, and, of course, our good friend called Rapid Fire, just around the corner here on the Backstage Pass. Hang tight.
The Bangtail pour is comprised of a sweet corn mash base. The front has a subtle sweetness and not too sharp. It has notes of a medium char or white oak for a smoky flavor in the middle, and the tail has a super smooth and warm finish.
Go behind the scenes with some of the biggest artists in music today with the Backstage Pass, powered by the SportsGuysPodcast.com. Join Brandon Morrill and his co-host Kirsty Krause as they talk to rising stars and legends about their music careers. Listen to their latest tracks and learn fun facts about the men and women behind the music you love. And be sure to tune into the Backstage Pass Monday through Friday from 3:30 to 6:30, powered by the SportsGuysPodcast.com. And welcome into the Backstage Pass. And back here with Aaron Goodvin on the show. You can check him out there, of course, aarongoodvin.com. The latest single, Country Dance, we're going to talk about here on the Backstage Pass. Again, powered by the Sports Guys podcast.com and hightidecountry.net. Catch all the shows out there, too, presented by our friends at Bangtail Whiskey and, of course, Honky Tonk Texas, too. You know, I got to ask you about and go back to a great song I love so much and recap this one before we get to the latest single, Bars and Churches. Two things out there that are different, dynamically different than one another, but I feel like sometimes they feed off one another because the forgiveness of, like I said, one thing you regret, you go into a church, and of course there it goes. But how did you come about this one? This is tremendous writing, and this was on, I know, one of your first records you put out in 2019. Recap it for the fans how this one came about.
Yeah, I mean, so my buddy Ben Stennis had that title and basically saved it for me. He's like, "Oh, Goodvin will love this," and basically, like we just started talking about, because we live in Nashville where literally, like, the top of the courses, there's one on every corner, and it really does feel that way. It's either like you drive through Nashville, there's either a church or there's a bar, and I guess when you have that many bars, you need that many churches. I think is the thinking, but I, like, we just started talking about the similarities, about what people are looking for, and more on a deeper level than just to go out on a Friday night or just to go to church on Sunday, right? So, like, what is it that we're all really looking for and searching for, and and it's kind of that community, right? It's like that sense of belonging somewhere, and that I think that we all have as human beings. And I know I certainly have it. I can't speak for everybody else, but I do want to belong, and I do want to feel like I'm part of something. So it's, that's just one of those songs that I often say, like, that's one of the songs that I moved to town to write. That's one of the songs that you like. It's kind of the thing that you're chasing after. You don't always get it. You write a lot of songs and you try to do your best, but sometimes an idea like that and a song like that, it just doesn't come along, and there's some magic to it. So it's some wonderful things for us, and it's reached a lot of people, and that's what music's all about, man. So.
Touching somebody's heart, like I said, hopefully many good ways out there. All right, this latest single, I thought it was a great arrangement and definitely right up your alley when it came to music, sung the right way, instrumentation, fantastically done, I think, in the studio. Great production on this. Country Dance, which is across all the digital platforms now to download for you guys to check out. Let's have you play this, and then we'll kind of break down the tune a little bit and kind of go over a little bit of the arrangement, the writing, all that good stuff. How's that?
Yeah, let's do it.
All right, here we go.
Here's Country Dance. Well, I ain't going out there, I don't dance. You'll never see me giving that a chance. I'd rather find a bar stool and watch you kick it out on the floor. But the way them jeans are hugging on your hips, it's kinda got me going, I'll admit. Eyebrows are tapping, and now my hands are clapping. Girl, you're about to make me a fool. Cause I'm scooting, we're booting, and Jägermeister shooting to the best. And Brooks and Dunn, go see honky tonkin' song and tripping and scuffing. It's a good thing I'd be buzzing, otherwise these two left feet wouldn't be right where they belong. With my hand in your back pocket, you'll try before you knock it. Did I die and go to heaven in a country bar, doing a country dance with you? Well, there's a dude beside me in this line. It looks like he must come here all the time. He's turning left, and I'm turning right. Oh no, yeah. Oh baby, here we go. Yeah, I'm scooting, we're boozing, and Jägermeister shooting to the best. And Brooks and Dunn, go see honky tonkin' song and tripping and scuffing. It's pocket. Girl, try before you knock it. Did I die and go to heaven in a country bar? Doing a country dance with you. I'm a Johnny, I'm a whaling guy. There ain't much more than one meets the eye. But when it comes to you, I guess I'll do whatever it is you want me to. Just look at me move, yeah, I'm scooting with boo and Jägermeister shooting to the best and books and nine. Don't see honky tonkin', songin', tripping and stuffing. It's a good thing I be buzzing, otherwise these two left feet wouldn't be right where they belong. With my hand in your back pocket, girl, try before you knock it. Did I die and go to heaven in a country bar? Doing a country dance in a country bar. Doing a country dance. Yeah.
Ready to do the country dance here on the Backstage
It cracks
Pass.
me up every time I play it.
So let's talk about the writing of this one back here with Aaron Goodvin on the Backstage Pass at hightidecountry.net. And of course, the Sports Guys podcast.com live on that very website. So this arrangement, the writing, the fantastic, the feel-good moment of something like that when we take things, I say we, I'm not speaking for the general public. I don't want to speak and put words in somebody's mouth, but at least sometimes we all do this as human beings. We look at things, I guess, from the outside looking in or what have you. And we think the worst of situations. It's kind of cool to step back and hear a song like that, Aaron, that just makes you want to have fun again.
Yes, totally. I had a lot of success with a song called Lonely Drum that is one of the biggest line dances, I think, out there. Or so I'm told. I don't know a lot about the line dance world. So, I mean, in case in point with that song is literally about, like, we started talking about how I don't even know the line dance to Lonely Drum. And it's literally, one of the most popular line dances today. Mm-hmm. And so, but the best part about that song is that's literally what it's about. It's just meant to be a good time, and it's meant to take, I think like, when we wrote it, it's just, what, it was so funny because the day we wrote it, we didn't even know we had a song that was worth anything. Like we wrote it on a Friday. We were all trying to get out of there. We were all like, we were all on Zoom. So it was like, it wasn't that much fun because writing on Zoom is just not that much. The work tape is horrible because I'm playing and singing, but I forgot to mute everybody else. So my co-writer Kat is singing all over Zoom on the work tape. So it literally sounds like, because of the delay, it's just it's the worst work tape in the world. But I went back and listened to it and I was like, there might be something to this. So I text Skip, who I wrote the song with Skip and Kat, the same people I wrote Lonely Drum with, because we were talking about how I don't know my own line dance. I don't really line dance. And so we were like, and she had that booting and scooting thing. And I was like, oh, that's kind of cool. Maybe we just like write the song. So we wrote it from that perspective. And then, and just kind of forgot about it, to be honest. And a few months later, I listened to it. I sent it to Skip and I was like, man, we might want to like demo this. I don't know why, but just demo it and see what happens. And he of course demoed it and was like, dude, this is a hit. He's like, it plays so easy. It's so fun, blah, blah, blah. And I was like, okay, great. So I put a vocal on it. And then I did what a lot of people are doing these days, which I teased it on TikTok saying, and Instagram Reels or whatever, saying maybe I wrote the new Lonely Drum, and it just kind of blew up. And so it was kind of obvious to me that, we haven't had a song react like this since Lonely Drum, so I was like, we got to put this thing out. So then the next couple months, we're just like doing everything we can to get it out, which is so different for me. I'm used to like getting it all done and produced and then releasing it to the world. And then, so being able to put it out like that and tease some people and be like, and have that sense of urgency, I thought was pretty cool. So.
No, it really is. Like I said, it takes you back to little boot scooting, kind of Brooks and Dunn kind of feel to something like that too, that they would put out back in the 90s country kind of feel there too. And that's what I love about country dance. So there you heard it right here at hightidecountry.net. And of course, the sports guys podcast.com will play there. Go download it, get the stream count up higher and higher. We'll take our final timeout here. Final segment coming up here. We'll talk a little bit of Lucky Stars, which was the last album, a tune called Boy Like Me, which was a great song, and kind of find out maybe other hobbies, food choices, drink choices in our little segment called Rapid Fire here. Presented by Bangtail Whiskey and our friends at Honky Tonk, Texas. Coming back more with Aaron Goodvin. Hang tight.
The Bangtail pour is comprised of a sweet corn mash base. The front has a subtle sweetness and not too sharp. It has notes of a medium char or white oak for a smoky flavor in the middle, and the tail has a super smooth and warm finish.
Go behind the scenes with some of the biggest artists in music today with the Backstage Pass, powered by the sportsguyspodcast.com. Join Brandon Morrill and his co-host Kirsty Krause as they talk to rising stars and legends about their music careers. Listen to their latest tracks and learn fun facts about the men and women behind the music you love. And be sure to tune into the Backstage Pass Monday through Friday from 3:30 to 6:30, powered by the sportsguyspodcast.com. And welcome into the Backstage Pass. And back on the show, final segment with Aaron Goodvin here, talking country dance and a whole lot more too. Don't forget, we're off tomorrow, back Thursday. A couple of Texas two-steps with Drew Gregory, a fantastic Canadian country artist, going to join us here on the show. And, of course, I say the Hall of Famer. She's fantastic. I love her music. We're going to talk about a new album called Milestone, which is out there. The great Michelle Wright here on the Backstage Pass on Thursday. Next week, Kelly Lang and a whole lot more here. So hang tight. Some good shows coming up over the next few weeks at the sportsguyspodcast.com and hightidecountry.net. So, hey, back to your last album, Aaron. I thought was fantastic. 7 great songs on there. Boy Like Me really stood out to me, and I'm sure a lot of the fans at that particular time. Talk about just the writing and a little backstory of this one.
Yeah, we that was our second number one in Canada, which is pretty special. So, which happened all during COVID. But I wrote the song with Skip Black and Michael August. Basically, Skip just had that idea, or we spit it out in the room, and boy like me and boy like me and a girl like you with a boy like me and a girl like you, and I was like, oh, that's kind of brilliant. And one of my favorite things about that song is I love songs that talk about like a whole relationship that happens over 10 years in a 3-minute song or whatever, but I had been, thinking about, at that time, like it was kind of on my mind that, I wanted to have kids someday and all that stuff. And so we were like, we just got the song together and it happened pretty quickly. And it was a big hit for us. It was pretty awesome.
No doubt. And, of course, the title track of that album really stood out. Definitely when you look at things like Lucky Stars out there from a song standpoint, too. This had to be fun to sing in the studio, put this one together, because it just felt like this one flowed real easy for you guys.
Yeah, it was just magic. I mean, like the even when we wrote it, like, so I remember being upset when we wrote that song with, it was Skip Black, a lot of Skip Black songs we're talking about, but Skip Black and Terry McBride, obviously from McBride and the Ride in the 90s, big hit songwriter. It was the first time we ever wrote, and Skip had the title Lucky Scars, and I was like, that's cool, but I think I just like Lucky Stars, And we started grooving on this thing, and Terry rips out this melody, which I was so ticked about, because like that's usually my role, like I'm like, I want to throw the big melodies out there, and he's just like, "Can my lucky star?" and went to that. I was like, damn, that's so good. And I was mad that I didn't come up with it on my own, and that I was gonna have to tell everybody that was Terry McBride's fault. But no, it was a big hit for us. In Canada, we play it everywhere we go. I'm a big fan of that song. It sort of set the precedent for that record, and it was great. Love that
good
song.
stuff. Love the song too. Terry McBride, had him on the show here many times. Love that group, and we actually saw him at Country Radio Seminar. They just put out a single back in March. We were there in Nashville at the Omni.
That's awesome.
The whole group came by and talked about that. I want to say they're releasing some other projects out there, so definitely the guys touring again. And it's just great to see. That tells you that the great ones always find a way to hang around, and they're going to get back together, and fans clamor stuff like that. They want to hear it. They want to go out and support the shows. And I mean, remember Sacred Ground like it was yesterday. Like that
Right.
song just
Right.
blew up for the guys. I mean,
Yeah.
fantastic country music back then too. All right, let's have a little fun with rapid fire. Love this too. Food choices lately. I know that we're all trying to do a little bit better. I say that, and then we don't. At least I don't. Can't speak for everybody else. But for you, cooking or takeout, what do you like when it comes to you cooking something compared to you getting something via takeout?
Takeout.
You're right there. Amen.
Easy.
I'm ready.
Easy.
What's your favorite food to get for you and the wife?
Oh man, what? There's not much that we don't. I'm allergic to shellfish, so that's
Shellfish.
I stay away from seafood. But I mean, we've done barbecue. We do Mexican a lot. We do Tex-Mex a lot. We do.
Oh yeah.
Anything and everything. Yeah.
And did I hear a little birdie kind of drop through that you're about to be a first-time dad? Is that correct?
Yes.
All right. See, we do a little homework
very
here on the
excited.
Show. Good.
That's
Congratulations
good.
to you.
Thank you very much. We Boy Like Me, the song Boy Like Me is coming true. But it's it's pretty amazing, man. Like I honestly it was a surprise. Like we weren't trying, but we weren't not trying. It's just kind of like a thing, and it just happens when it happens. Like it's kind of like all the things that you in life. It's just it happens when it's supposed to happen, and I don't have control over it, but I'm definitely embracing it. We're really excited. Oh, she bought this at. I just saw this as you look at this.
Look at that.
Now you're gonna headliner.
I'm gonna have to get one of those when I go back up there because I just became a first-time dad myself during the pandemic.
Oh no way!
Little girl, she just turned 3 back in April, so 2020 we had her. So right there, like only like one person could be in the hospital at the time due to the pandemic.
I feel it right, dude.
It was crazy.
That?
But that shirt, I'm gonna have to get that shirt next time.
Dude, you gotta go get it. Future headliner.
I love that. Future headliner too. Love that. She loves music and she loves saying "Daddy on TV, Daddy on TV." No, it's just a podcast, baby. But she's so And now the cool thing is they're going through all these growth spurts and phases of like climbing into bed with you because they can't sleep in their own bed because they have nightmares or they're scared of something. So just from when they turn, like I said, 1 to 2 to 3, these growth spurts are pretty cool, and it's pretty cool too. You're gonna love it, embrace it, and I think back to that song that Billy Dean came out with, and he had talked about here on the show one time. Let them be little, and I think back when you get sometimes, and not even a parent, we get so upset with the small things of like, don't put that on the floor, pick up your toys,
don't do it,
and now you're like, we were there once, we don't remember it, but let them be little. So it's just that's just
great
something
song.
I'm going through. Great, yeah. I mean, just one of the greatest country songs of all time, too. All right, when it comes to pizza toppings, what goes on a Goodvin pizza?
All the meat.
I knew you were going to say that. I love it. First song you ever all the meat. First songs you ever sing live on stage?
The first song was "Sitting on Go," Brian White.
Brian White, hey. Nobody's
throw that back.
Yeah, that was way back in the day. Boy, that's a throwback, no doubt about it, too. Let's say Goodvin household takes home a Mega Million or a Powerball. What's the first thing you do with the money?
I would build a studio.
That's what I need to do.
I need one so bad. I literally, like, later on this afternoon, I have like my little portable setup, and I'll set it up right here on the kitchen table. Like, I need a place to put this stuff.
That's good stuff right there too. Last movie you got to check out in theaters, what was it?
Shoot, that's a good question. What was it?
And I say that because, like, I want to go see Oppenheimer so bad right now. They say it's fantastic,
Man,
and that's the one.
We were gonna go the other day. I'm so bad with movies. I feel like movies and TV are like, and I've watched a lot of it, but it's not as big of a deal as it used to be, because it's just everything's so accessible. I think we have like 7 streaming services. I don't even know. Like, I think we have all of them, because like this show will pop up on this one, and this one will pop up on this one. I think the last one we went to was the only one I can remember is Tenet. Is the last
Yeah,
one, which is a long time ago.
Mm-hmm.
We didn't understand it at all, but we watched it.
I just went and caught a few weeks ago when July 4th, 5th, 6th, somewhere in there it came out. The Indiana Jones last.
That we were going to go to that. We didn't go see it. Is it good?
It's good. I thought it
Okay.
was. Some people were whatever, but everybody's got their own take on movies and their opinion.
Yeah.
But yes, for the Dial of Destiny, for the last one in this series, or at least the last one Harrison Ford will probably ever do in his lifetime. But it's crazy. 80 years old, Aaron, is still going strong.
Unbelievable.
I just don't know how you do
And they say the Illuminati ain't real.
That's the truth. Hey man, he stood the test of time, no doubt about it.
No
hey, I love
kidding.
the single is fantastic. Country dance across all the digital platforms, and check him out. Maybe coming to a city near you, of course. AaronGoodvin.com. Brother, always good to catch up. You're one of our show favorites, and definitely new music comes out. We're always here for you, and always thank you for being with us, and looking forward to doing this again, no doubt.
Dude, thanks so much for doing it, and I'm excited, man. We gotta swap contacts.
We do. We got to swap those contacts.
I need to get down to Texas. Let's go.
Let's do it, no doubt. Aaron Goodvin, the one, the only out there too. Country dance. You'll love it. Take you back to a little 90s country. We're off tomorrow, Thursday, Canadian Day for us. Drew Gregory, Michelle Wright on the show. And, of course, Friday off, back next week. Kelly Lang coming here on the Backstage Pass. Looking forward to Kelly. Always a great show favorite out there. If you don't know who that is, man, I don't know what rock you've been hidden under. Kelly Lang, synonymous T.G. Shepard's wife out there. To clarify that for you, too. Here on the Backstage Pass, powered by the sportsguyspodcast.com, hightidecountry.net. Thanks to Bangtail Whiskey and her friends over at Honky Tonk, Texas. We'll see you Thursday here on the Backstage Pass. Until then, have a great week.